Gentlemen, my apologies for wasting your time. Like I earlier said, this is Nigerian Bar Association Aba Branch webinar on the topic, remuneration order for lawyers, on the preparation and documentation of land title documents, possibilities and enforceability. You will agree with me that this is a burning issue as concerns lawyers in the area of our remuneration. NBA Aba Branch, in conjunction with ICLE, has organized this webinar and has invited a seasoned speaker to lecture us on this topic so that we'll be abreast of what we are required to do, what we are required to charge, the possibility and the enforceability. Gentlemen, permit me to introduce to you the guest speaker for this event. He is no other person than Chief Emeka JP Obegolo, a senior advocate of Nigeria. Chief Emeka Obegolo is a senior advocate of Nigeria and the founding partner of Greenfield Chambers, a distinguished lawyer, arbitrator, a moderator, a mediator. He holds an LLB honors from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, an LLM in mineral law and policy from University of Dundee, UK, a PhD holder in arbitration from Nnamdi Azikiwe University. He is also a fellow of both the Chartered Institute of Arbitrator UK and the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC. Dr. Obegolo has extensive experience serving as arbitrator, He is a fellow of both the Chartered Institute of Arbitrator UK and the Institute of Chartered Mediator and Conciliators, ICML. Dr. Obegolo has extensive experience serving as arbitrator, mediator, and counsel in common commercial, labor, family, and commercial disputes, and is accredited neutral with multiple dispute resolution centers across Nigeria. A respected thought leader, he has spoken at major international and national conferences, including those hosted by ICMC, Nigerian Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, IBA, PALU, and GIZ. He has held several key leadership roles, including past president of PALU, past National General Secretary and Publicity Secretary of the Nigerian Bar Association, past president of ICMC, chairman of the Governing Council of the Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, Dispute Resolution Center, and president of the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, ACCI, a knight of the Catholic Church, and a traditional title holder of Akajugu and Nyocha. Dr. Obegolo continues to contribute to the legal development and ADR advancement in Africa. He's married with children, and he's currently the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Remuneration Committee. Gentlemen and ladies, permit me to call upon the learned sake Chief Dr. Emeka JP Obegolo, the Akajugu of Aniocha, to deliver the lecture which we all have been waiting for. Thank you, your learned sake.
Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues. Please permit me, I'm trying to get my video on. I don't know what what the problem will be, but I'm struggling to get my video on. I don't know if I can go ahead without the video, but if you can take 5 minutes to work on it and then get back to us, is that okay?
Go on, sir.
All right, please, let me see why the video is not coming on. It's a strange development. Oh, God.
It appears you're logged in without video because it's not showing that, yes, the video icon is not showing.
So how do I? God. Oh, wow.
Okay. You may wish to leave the meeting and then re-enter.
Okay.
This time with your video on. Yes, sir.
Okay, let me do that.
Gentlemen, let's be a little patient, please.
Okay. I don't know what is showing, but it's a bit confusing. My handset is what is the video is coming from my handset while I'm working from my laptop. Anyway, so we will, I don't know whether this works. Oh gosh. Distinguished colleagues, let me again apologize. I don't know the kind of network I got, but the video is failing to come up. I've signed in again, but it's not coming up. But let me thank Aba branch of Nigerian Bar Association for setting up this very timely intervention on the welfare of colleagues. I've tried to, as it were, tweak the topic slightly to deal with the order 4, which talks about the scale. Hello, can you hear me? It talks about the scale of charges for documentation of conveyancing and property matters. But I want to deal with it in terms of the well-being of lawyers, because we know that the Remuneration Order 2023. Hello? The order is meant to address the well-being and welfare of lawyers. So I again thank the branch for bringing up this issue at this time. For me, it's an honor and a privilege to be invited to join you today. And I must say from day one that it's not going to be a lecture. I want us to have a conversation. But first, I would like to know how many of us have read the Remuneration Order 2023. Can you indicate in the chat box those of us who have read the order so that we can begin to even know how seriously we take our welfare? As far as I'm concerned, this order goes to the welfare of Nigerian lawyers. So if at this time there are members of the branch who have not read or seen a copy of the order, it means either of two things. Either the branch is not alive to your responsibility for the dissemination of such critical issues to members, or members who have received it are like, when we had slave trade, and there was movement for the abolishment of slave trade. Some blacks were still fighting or resisting the movement for the abolishment of slave trade. So maybe there are lawyers still who do not think the order should be enforced, or who care less about the enforcement of the order. But first of all, let me talk a little bit about my committee. The Remuneration Committee is a committee set up by the Nigerian Bar Association to do three things. First is to bring the order to the knowledge of legal practitioners. And what I mean is that what we started doing from day one is to have some advocacy around the order, which was meant to bring the order to the knowledge of our colleagues all over the country. Then we set out to bring the advocacy to the knowledge of our proposed clients. Can we keep our devices muted?
You can join.
Please, can we keep our devices muted?
Chairman's chair.
So we commenced advocacy among prospective clients. Hello, people who shared the order among banks, insurance companies, political parties, ministries, departments, and agencies of government. People who think should, or as a matter of course, always employ the services of lawyers. And I've also asked lawyers to, when you receive any letter of instruction that is signed by a lawyer and it proposes to pay you any fee that is below the prescribed minimum, please report that colleague to the committee. We intend to enforce the order without fear nor favor. So that's what we have been doing for too long. Lawyers in Nigeria, you know very well, we have grappled with inadequate remuneration, exploitation of young practitioners, and the financial strain of sustaining legal practices in a competitive and often unforgiving economic environment. These challenges are welfare, our ability to meet basic needs. It also challenges our ability to ensure our well-being, and it encompasses our mental health. Well-being encompasses our mental health, professional fulfillment, and personal dignity. I don't know how many of us know about this order, the history of this order, which was drafted with the support of the Nigerian Bar Association. It was under the leadership of YC Mekiao, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, that the NBA articulated a review proposal for the extant order, and that led to the signing of this order into law as a subsidiary legislation under the Legal Practitioners Act. This order is a landmark framework designed to standardize legal fees, to protect the dignity of this profession, and ensure that every lawyer, whether a senior advocate or a young lawyer, can earn a fair and sustainable income. So what I will try to do here today is to share with us what I think, in my view, how this order can move us from mere welfare to true well-being of lawyers, and to enlist NBA Aba branch to become partners with us in this transformative journey. We believe that the order is more than a schedule of fees. It is a statement of value. It declares that the work of a lawyer, whether in drafting contracts, in litigation, or legal advisory, is not a commodity to be bargained down, but a professional service that upholds justice and drives societal progress. Permit me to just highlight a few objectives of the order. The other seeks to ensure fair compensation by setting minimum fees for legal services. This ensures that lawyers are paid commensurately with the expertise and effort they invest. And because we are talking about the Order 4 on land documentation and instruments drafting, it's also important to understand that this order gives us room to charge fees, but it also expects us as lawyers to deliver services. A lot of lawyers collect 5%, 10%, and draft conveyancing documents without perfection of title. I think that should not be the correct position. So when you collect 10%, as the case may be, it is expected that you perfect the title of your client. So when clients who are uninformed pay you what they pay and collect signed documents, that document has not been perfected because the lawyers are not paid well. So it's a chicken and egg scenario. We believe that when the clients pay well, the lawyer is duty bound to perfect the title of the lawyer, of the client. The order also protects our young lawyers. It addresses the exploitation of junior lawyers by establishing baseline remuneration so that young lawyers can build a sustainable career. We know that in Aba, like every other city in Nigeria, clients use young lawyers to negotiate fees. So when they come to a young lawyer's office, they say, I want to help you. How do you help a lawyer by retaining him? So young lawyers are seen as victims when there's no baseline for charges. So when a client says, I want to help you, he really doesn't want to help you. He wants to exploit you because they think that by giving you his agreement to sign, to prepare, you will give a very large and welcome discount from what the senior lawyers are paying. But when clients know that what A is offering is what B is offering, and for some of us who think that they have gone beyond the minimum, they are still free to charge the sky. I mean, we are told in law school to charge whatever the client can pay. But what the order seeks to do is to establish a minimum upon which you can build and charge anything you want to charge. Professional dignity. Now, by standardizing our fees, the order reinforces the worth of our profession, discouraging undercutting and fostering respect from clients and the society. A poor lawyer will not be respected in the society. A haggard-looking lawyer will not be respected in the society. So we must, as we envisage it, when I wanted to read law because my father was a lawyer and I saw how robust his lifestyle was as a family. We lacked nothing. So I felt I should follow in his footsteps so that I'll make sure that I'll become a respected man in the society. When my father enters a gathering, he's well respected. So that was my idea of a lawyer. But today we can no longer say the same. Just last week, I did a debriefing session with the externs that came from law school. And we were discussing with them. Some of them said that when they went for court externship or internship, that the type of lawyers they saw in court discouraged them from going further. So when we talk about restoring the dignity of our profession, if those lawyers are able to charge as prescribed under this order, they will dress better to court. They will not take motorcycle to court. So it is a duty that all of us must take more seriously, because fair pay allows lawyers to invest in your practice, to pursue continuous professional development and achieve financial stability. How can a lawyer who is not well paid, how can he develop himself professionally? How can you attend International Bar Association conference or an NBA conference? This year, when we had our NBA conference in Enugu, I'm sure some lawyers from Aba branch could not go down to Enugu because they cannot afford it. Not because they are not working hard. They work very hard like other lawyers do, but they cannot afford it because the system will not allow them to charge a commensurate fee for their services. So we are calling on everybody to take this as self-interest, in a self-enlightened interest, to deal with this as if our life depends on it. Now, when we go to scale 4 for property transactions and mortgages, you'll see that it's enshrined as a schedule to the order. It governs property transactions, including mortgages and related dealings. What it does is to ensure that our expertise in conveyancing, that is drawing up deeds, perfecting titles, and navigating the limits of land laws, is fairly compensated. These days in Abuja, those who do land conveyancing, you know that if you don't do it well, when the case starts, the EFCC will invite you. A lot of our colleagues have gone to EFCC to write statements because of one failed land transaction. And it is because they were not diligent enough to conduct proper search. Because the client meets you, we have met, we have agreed, just drop agreement for us. If you don't insist on doing that search yourself, and if it's a building, going to do physical search to ask questions around the environment or the neighborhood, you may run into that problem. And this is because we're not properly remunerated. So we must insist on proper remuneration so that we can offer cutting-edge legal services. In a nation like ours, where real estate fuels economic growth, like Aba, a lot of real estate fuels economic growth. The trader needs his proper title to be able to access bank loan. So when you have that kind of mix, real estate and commerce, disputes over titles will plague our courts. So adhering to this scale is both a professional imperative and a public service. If you look at the scale, you see that it prescribes minimum fees based on the transaction value, recognizing that property work demands meticulous due diligence, statutory compliance, and risk mitigation. The core principle is equity. Fee scale with complexity and value, preventing undercutting that erodes our professional standards. Then I'll give you a few key provisions, and I'll urge us all to go and read the Remuneration Act. It's very important. Conveyancing and deed preparation. For sale, purchase, or lease of land, the minimum fee is 10% of the transaction value, or the unencumbered market value if higher. What does this mean? Some transaction value may be different from the free market value. So if you have a way of determining the free market value, the unencumbered market value. So if you're buying a property, if your client is buying a property that's encumbered, and because of that, the value of the transaction is significantly lowered, you may also determine the unencumbered market value and charge based on that. Now, this applies to drafting agreements, investigating titles, and preparing deeds of assignment, sublease, or tenancy agreement. I said, for example, that property of 50 million naira will attract 10%, which is 5 million naira, and it is non-negotiable when it is land transaction. But if you read the explanatory notes to this order, you will also find that where the seller insists that his lawyer will also participate in the agreement. In other words, the seller's counsel or solicitor will gross the agreement. What it means, according to the order, is that the buyer's counsel will take 7.5%, while the seller's lawyer will take 2.5%. So it's a cap of 10%. But where you're just working for the buyer and the seller is not interested in bringing his lawyer, which is the case in most agreements, you are entitled to your 10%. So the cap is 10%, subject to your ability to charge more. So with the mortgages and charges, you find that 4% applies to legal charges, debentures, or equitable mortgages. Now, there are also instances where transaction involves multiple phases. Example where you will find initial transfer followed by a charge and subsequent transfers. So fees will accumulate per stage. but the other caps overlaps to avoid double dipping. So the 5A provides that we can elect to charge in accordance with order 2. Sorry. Now, what does order 2 provide? Order 2 says simply that where you do not wish to charge based on orders 1, 3, 4, 5, and so. Or sorry, scale 1, 2, 3, 4. That you can elect in writing to your client to say, look, I'm not going to charge based on this scale. But in any circumstances, your charge cannot be lower than what is prescribed under the scale. So this order 2 allows us to, where we think we can charge more, to charge more, but we must give notice to the client that we intend to charge more than the scale provides, in which case you can go ahead. So whatever you think your client can pay more, litigation or any other services, you are free to negotiate and pay and charge higher. Now, I've talked about the additional notes to scale 4. The landlord's practitioner will get 7.5, the tenant or the lessee's legal practitioner will get 2.5. So that's how it works. But it's important for us to know that these fees are not arbitrary, that they reflect the sweat equity we invest in our commercial work. In a commercial city like Aba, if you ignore scale 4, we are inviting title fraud and client disputes. Remember that paragraph 8.2 of the order says that you cannot accept fees lower than the prescribed minimum. So compliance here fortifies your branch reputation as ethical front runners. So what do we mean? The branch must lead the charge to ensure that nobody is left behind. There may be resistance like every other new thing, but it's a duty, we are duty bound to ensure that we drive this order. As a committee, we are advocating for all-round compliance with this order. And this is after extensive consultation with stakeholders across Nigeria. We listened to stories of unpaid invoices, clients demanding discounts, and young lawyers struggling to survive on mega earnings. As far as we are concerned, this order is our collective sweat, our collective answer to these challenges. But the success depends on its implementation. And that is where you, Aba branch, comes in. We must ensure that we survive. Welfare means that we are surviving. Now, from surviving, we are supposed to move to well-being. We need to thrive in an economy such as this. We should not, no lawyer should be part of the lower, below middle class in Nigeria. Take a young lawyer. Take a young lawyer, fresh from law school, joins Aba branch, joins a law firm, dreams of making a difference, working tirelessly, often sacrificing his or her weekends to meet deadlines. After 7 or so years, she establishes her own law firm, grows a modest clientele base. Yet, his or her earnings barely covered her rent, let alone allow her to save or invest in her professional growth. The stress of financial insecurity will lead to burnout, and she will begin to question her place in the profession. This story is not an isolated case. It is a reality for many lawyers across Nigeria today. And I'll tell you what, it's also a problem for the profession, because what you now see are young lawyers seeking appointment as magistrates or judges as an escape route, as an economic emancipation. So we no longer have those who are being invited to take up the rank of judges or magistrates because of their industry. We're now seeing across board some colleagues who are trying to become judges or magistrates as an escape route, or seeking employment in banks, even in hospitals these days. I've seen a colleague got an appointment in the hospital, say he's going to be a legal advisor. Say, okay. But this is where we are. And the remuneration order is our tool to rewrite this narrative by ensuring fair play. The order will ensure and enable lawyers to prioritize our mental health. We know that financial stability reduces stress. It allows us to seek mental health support and avoid burnout. It also allows us to invest in our growth because adequate income means that we can afford trainings, certifications, and resources to compete in the globalized legal market. It also enables us to serve with purpose because a financially secure lawyer can take on pro bono cases, mentor younger colleagues, and advocate for justice without personal financial strain. It gives you ability to achieve balance, to spend time with your family, pursue your hobbies, and also live life of fulfillment beyond the demands of practice. So every day you're working from morning till night, yet you're struggling to maintain your family. When we charge well, you find that you can close work you can go to court, come back from court, go home, have siesta, eat lunch, and then go back to the office. So instead of 100 clients, you have 20 good fee-paying clients. Your problems are reduced. And then you can have work-life balance. The strength of this order lies not in its ink, but in our enforcement. Paragraph 11 of the order empowers MBA to investigate contraventions with the order. So we are the watchdogs. This committee is the watchdog of this order. And there are fines up to 1 million naira suspension, or even referral to the disciplinary committee of the body of benchers for undercharges or unethical billing. So, what have we done? We have mobilized all the branches. What the MBA did is to pass a resolution that branches can, in their general meeting, adopt an enforcement mechanism. Send to my committee, and then after that, we will call a community hall or town hall meeting where we will review the branches' resolutions and come up with what may be a nationally accepted or regionally accepted enforcement mechanism. Why is this so? It's so because a few issues have come up. Issues have come up like, well, if a lawyer in Abuja goes to Anambra to prepare a deed of assignment, and he needs a branch seal from any of the branches in Anambra before that agreement can be perfected, what do we do? So there are issues like that. But for us as a committee, we say, look, no law is perfect. So there is no way this remuneration order can be perfect, but let us first start applying it. After a year, 2 years or so, we can now come back and propose review. But as far as enforcement is concerned, efforts are in top gear to have a national consensus on enforcement. For instance, the branches in Lagos State have adopted a model. They've taken that resolution on advocacy visits to the chief judge, to the attorney general, to get their input so that when eventually all the stakeholders agree on an enforcement mechanism, it will become what we call in Igbo land, or Hazurume. It becomes easy to enforce. So I charge the branches in Abia State, led by Abba and Umuahia, to please see how we can have a statewide enforcement mechanism that reflects the intricacies and challenges of your jurisdiction. Now, over 80 branches have passed these resolutions. We are waiting the remaining branches to set it up. As soon as we have 90% compliance, we can go into the next phase, which is town hall meetings. We expect that Aba branch and all the branches in Abia State will cooperate with us to form a consensus around this issue. Enforcement is a collective defense. As paragraph 12.4 mandates NBA to set guidelines, our branches must localize them. Imagine an Abia State where property deals honor lawyers' toil. Enforcement makes it real. Learned colleagues, skill 4 of the order is our shield against undervaluation. It is our map through tax mazes and our blueprint for robust enforcement. In Aba, for instance, where economic, land, commerce, and community intertwine, we owe a duty to champion it, not as a burden, but as a badge of honor. Adherence elevates us. It protects our clients and sustains the bar. I urge you, review your retainers today, invoice boldly tomorrow, and collaborate fiercely. As the chair of the Remuneration Committee, I'm aware that the order's potential will only be realized through collective action. The NBA Aba branch, known for your dynamism and activism, and your commitment to this profession, you're uniquely positioned to lead this charge. So I charge and I propose the following practical steps to Aba branch of NBA to leverage the order. First is that the branch should lead the awareness creation. Like I said earlier, so many lawyers have not even read the provisions of this order. Clients do not fully understand the order. The Aba branch can lead by organizing town halls, webinars, and campaigns to educate members and propose clients about the order's provisions. Empower your members to confidently charge the prescribed fees and educate clients on the value of legal services. I also charge you to advocate for enforcement because the order, as we know it, is not self-executing. We need robust enforcement mechanism to address non-compliance, such as undercutting our client pressure to reduce fees. We have heard stories where it was reported that a particular lawyer somewhere in Nigeria agreed with his client that he should pay, because in that branch they pay through branches. They pay conveyancing, professional fees for conveyancing through the branches. He told his client that he should pay to the branch, and when the branch pays him, he will return some money to the client, so he'll be seen to be compliant. Those are the issues we are having. So I urge the Aba branch to work with my committee to establish monitoring and disciplinary measures. Let us hold ourselves accountable to the standards we have set. Young lawyers are the heartbeat of our profession, so we must support them because they are the most vulnerable. The Aba branch can create mentorship programs, legal aid initiatives, and networking platforms to help young lawyers and even law firms to benefit from the order. Firms must also commit to paying young lawyers enhanced salaries and allowances to foster a culture of fairness. Now, part of the proposals we have made to the Legal Practitioners Act, which we have got stakeholders' endorsement, is that this committee will have the power to prescribe minimum fees payable to associates in chambers. The bill is currently before the National Assembly. As soon as the bill is passed, we will prescribe, but we will also know. We also know that we cannot, in fair conscience, prescribe law firms to pay what they are not earning. That's why the urgency of now, as far as this order is concerned. By sometime next year, God helping us, we want to be able to prescribe a minimum charge, a minimum salary for lawyers in law firms. So I appeal to the branch to work together with us to support young lawyers. And finally, we must embrace technology. The legal profession is evolving and technology can help us. Just last week, we had a webinar where a company called Mammosoft Solutions Limited exhibited what they think, an app they think can help in enforcement or even in applying this order. By adopting tools like case management software, e-billings, and virtual consultations, we can reduce overhead costs and ensure that the fees prescribed translate into sustainable income. We know what technology has done to healthcare. If technology can transform healthcare the way it has transformed it, there's no reason why technology cannot transform legal practice. And we assure you that we are consulting as soon as we are out with the proper platform for enforceability and tracking. We will let us know. The branch owes a duty beyond the finances to promote the well-being of lawyers. I challenge Aba branch to pioneer well-being initiatives, mental health workshops, financial literacy programs, and peer support networks. A lawyer who is mentally and emotionally healthy is better equipped to serve clients and uphold justice. My best, since we were appointed as chair and members of this committee, the best day of my life doing this work is the day I received a call credit of 2,000 naira. And one lawyer called me from one branch in the East and said to me that the work we are doing has enabled him to charge and earn what he has never charged before in his life, or even what he didn't think was possible. Yes, 2,000 naira is big money, but I'm gratified that the work we are doing is having an effect on the welfare and well-being of lawyers. Distinguished colleagues, the remuneration order is our collective achievement, but its success lies in our hands. I call on your branch to be a trailblazer in its implementation. Let Aba branch be the branch that sets the standard, the branch that shows other branches how to move from welfare to well-being. Together, we can build a profession where every lawyer is valued, where young practitioners can dream without fear of financial ruin, and where we will all thrive as champions of justice. The remuneration order is our foundation. Let us build on it with courage, unity, and vision. Let me thank the leadership of the Aba branch and the ICLE committee of Aba branch for this initiative. May the MBA Aba branch lead the way, and may we all rise to the challenge of transforming from welfare into well-being. Thank you very much, and I expect, like I said, let us have a conversation around these issues. Let us make it as interactive as it is possible. I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, the learned Sikh, for this erudite lecture that was masterly delivered. Our learned Sikh concluded by saying that the remuneration order is our foundation. Let's build on it with courage. Gentlemen, the ball is now in our court. Thank you, sir. The next thing now is for us to ask questions. If we have any question for the learned Sikh, any clarification, this is the time. In the meantime, there is a question that is already dropped at the chat box by Mr. Onyemachi Chukwu Esquire. Learned Sikh, the question is, could the remuneration order be adequately enforced without a formal legislation by various state houses of assembly? That's a question by our colleagues. Then there is another one. Is there any possibility of the branch collaborating with the respective land ministry in the states to ensure compliance for the farm? Lenesik, I don't know if you can answer the two questions.
Okay, so thank you very much. First is whether it can be enforced without legislation by the state houses of assembly. For me, if you go to the Constitution, you find that professions are in the concurrent list. If not this, I think it's either concurrent or exclusive list. And we understand that once a law has been made pertaining any issue, there will be no need to replicate it. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Act of the National Assembly, which is the Legal Practitioners Act, under Section 15, created the Legal Practitioners Remuneration Committee, headed by the Attorney General of the Federation. The committee signed this order into law as a subsidiary legislation, and we know, we are lawyers, we know the force of a subsidiary legislation. So yes, the answer for me is yes, it can be enforced. For the second question, I think that question should go to Aba branch. I've said to you what Lagos State is doing, branches in Lagos State are doing, and I think we should encourage unity in enforcement. Of course, yes, because if you get the Commissioner for Lands to sign a memo or a directive that no land instrument will be registered without endorsement or proof of any document from the branches that says that this lawyer is in compliance, it will go a long way to help. So yes, we can engage authorities within the state to decide what can be done in terms of enforcement. And one of them is the land registry.
Hello.
Yeah, we have.
Hello. Yes, sir. Let us say my question relates to an aspect of the remuneration order concerning hourly rates. Is it possible in Nigeria for us to have that practice of billing? Is it practicable of billing hourly, considering the situation of things and the fact that our systems are more or less localized and are not time related.
Okay, so Nnamdi, please, you need to smell the coffee. A lot of law firms are already charging hourly rates in Nigeria. A lot of law firms who have clients across the world are already charging hourly rates in Nigeria. Even some Nigerian companies are paying hourly rates to their lawyers. It is your capacity to negotiate your fees that is what matters. And it's not in all circumstances that hourly rates is profitable. And I'll give you an example. If you charge hourly rates to do litigation, you may find some cases will be dealt with by preliminary objection. In which case, within 2 sittings, you have earned your fees.
Yes.
So everything depends. But I can tell you for free that a lot of law firms are already charging hourly rates in Nigeria today.
Okay, in relation to at least appearance in court?
In relation to whatever they want to work with. If you want to work in drafting, you can charge hourly rates. In legal opinion, you can charge hourly rates. In so many services that the lawyer renders. Even when a client gives you a file, don't take over this file, then you think you need 6 hours to read the file. You can tell him that you charge per hour.
Okay.
So anything is flexible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, my brother.
Mr. Chairman, good evening, sir. I'm Victor Chimanwugo. I'm highly excited and highly impressed how you have charged about to lead this remuneration order implementation. Our guest lecturer, I plead and I ask, wouldn't it be possible for you to come physically in Aba? In fact, the way you have charged me, if it is the issue of taking knife and getting the head of a lion, I'm prepared to do that. But we have so many who are not part of what is happening and what has happened now. How I wish you can physically visit Aba, which you also see as one of your territories, so that many of us will be charged, as you have charged Aba, to lead this drive in Abia State. We so pray you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief Mugo. Now, you know, anytime you invite me, I'll be happy to come to Aba. I've always been to Aba. I'll be happy to come anytime. But most importantly, the drive has to come from, and I can tell you when I started, I said to colleagues that even when we were battling, our forefathers were battling for the abolishment of slavery, some blacks who felt that they had an advantage still resisted it. So what you're seeing is two ways. One, lawyers who have not even read the order. And again, others who think it is not workable. But whether you like it or not, our colleagues are already earning good money from utilizing the order. So while you sit back, you think it's not workable. And you hear cases like, oh, I charged 10%. That lawyer collected 200,000 and drafted an agreement for 10 million naira land. We'll hear all that. But it's a gradual process. And I will urge Aba branch to identify a lawyer who is in breach of this order and have a petition sent to our committee so that we can use that lawyer to show others that this one, our life did this one, and nobody should play with it. Because it's a question of our welfare and our well-being. If any lawyer will practice to the detriment of our collective welfare, we should deal with the person. So I'm urging us to take this seriously. I'm willing and able to come to Aba anytime I'm invited, provided I have sufficient notice, to come and have this conversation. It's a conversation that is, I'm enlightened every way, anytime I speak about it. And it helps me. Now, for me, my clients, banks that we work with in this firm, they no longer give us, they used to give us letters that they claim are just their standard practice. Now, they called me. I said, look, if you want to give me any letter of instruction, go to the order. You're a lawyer. Go and see. If you don't want, give to those who can take. But any day I catch your letter prescribing or proposing fees less than this, I will take you and use you as an example. And we're very serious about this. It's like our life even depends on this. And we must take it seriously. So thank you, Chief Mugo.
Thank you, the learned sake. We appreciate your time. There is no doubt that remuneration order is a live wire of our practice as lawyers, because it's something that will enhance the value of our work. Learned sake, we thank you for the zeal and the dedication you and your community are putting in this course. Thank you very much. Is there any other question from our participants before I call upon the chairman of NBA Aba branch to thank our guest lecturer?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, is there any other question?
Yes, I want a little clarification regarding the issue of perfection of land documents and the 10% charge. There's a little confusion there. I want to be clarified, please. My name is Fernandez.
Go on.
Yes. I said I want a little clarification, a little more clarification on the issue of the 10% charge on land transaction documents and the issue of perfection of the documents vis-a-vis of other charges that may accrue when you go to register the documents in the lands.
Okay, thank you. The learned sake will then answer.
So, Mr. Ferdinand, You know, your fee is 10%, which, like I said earlier, is an envelope. If the seller has a lawyer who participates in the drafting, whether he drafted it or he reviewed it, he has 2.5% minimum. You have 7.5 minimum. Now, in carrying out the instruction, there are other fees payable to land registry or any other expenses that are out of your pocket. The client, your letter of instruction should state it clearly. This is my fees. It's not part of money for your work. You have to pay out-of-pocket expenses and official expenses like land documentation fees and all that. So your fees is your fees. Expenses belong to the client.
Thank you, sir. Any other question?
Yes, please. Good evening, Lenesio.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. Please, Lenesio, we would like to know how much,
Please, your name, sir. Please, your name.
My name is Dennis Ano of Aba branch. Lenesio, please, we would like to know what percentage of the lawyer's fee is the branch entitled to? Thank you, sir.
Now, Dennis, I'm sure you know the answer. There is no, what we said is lawyers should go to their branches and have a resolution. Even your branch, you resolve that your branch can take all the 10%, is your branch resolution. But you see, I don't know why lawyers should question or be antagonistic towards leaving a small portion of the fees secured by the branch for the branch, your own branch. And I'll say this. I've heard a lot of people say, why should the branch take part of my money? Why should branch? But this is the branch that is doing the work. For me, if I normally give Abuja branch 2 million naira every year, and through my services, they make 2 or 3 million naira, that means I will not give them the money again, Abi. So please, the colleagues should understand that if a branch, your branch, and you elected the chairman and the ESCO, takes 1.5%, 1% of any fee or your global fee, and you agree in a general meeting, for now, let it be so. If you have a problem, go back to the general meeting and agitate it. But it is your resolution that will guide enforcement of this order. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Leonard. Any other question?
Hello? Hello?
Okay. Yeah, go on.
Let's see.
We have one more. After this question, no more question, please. Thank you.
Okay. Please, my question is very straightforward. Apart from the 10%, is there any other percentage when the purchase price is above a certain extent, say above 100 million or thereabout? Is there any other percentage apart from 10% that the lawyer can charge? I just want to be clarified on that. Thank you.
Victor, thank you for this question. And I will not answer it because there is. The fees are graded as the value of transaction goes higher. But answering it will make you will be funding your laziness. Please, distinguished colleagues, read the order. I appeal. Victor, please go and take the order and read. Don't take it from me, but each of us should go and read the order. Most of the questions we are getting here are in the order. It won't take from beginning to the end of this order is 30 minutes read. I appeal to all of us to take a copy of this and read it. It will help you. It will help you. Everything is provided for, including where you want to do pro bono work, including when your parents give you work and you cannot charge them. The order says what you will do. But you cannot be spoon-feeding us when the letters of the order are very clear.
Thank
I
you.
appeal to us to go and take a copy of this order and read. And again, I've shared soft copies. I can also share to the branch chairman to make available to the branch, to the members. It is our live wire and we must take it. It's just like the Bible. For those of us who are Christians, you have to read the Bible.
Thank you, sir. Very well.
Thank you, the learner.
Welcome.
Now, may I call upon the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Aba branch, Mr. Charles Nsobundu Onochukwu, to thank the Leonard the Sixth.
Leonard Sixth, good evening. Good evening, sir. My name remains Charles Nsobundu Onochukwu, the chairman of Nigerian Bar Association, Aba branch. I'm so excited. I must commend you for giving us this opportunity. It is not easy for you to provide such an opportunity for Aba branch, though you know that Aba branch is your home. We cannot, at the appropriate time, we will reiterate the same way you have been doing to us. When the time comes, we will do that, and we will do the needful. On behalf of the Aba branch, we are very grateful, and we like what my Oga, Dennis, Victor Wugo said, that he is ready. Ababa is ready to welcome you to come and give us, because some of us might not be on this platform. They might not know what we are doing today, because maybe they don't have the opportunity to join us, or some of them are analog. They are yet to get internet connected. So we will plead with you. I will discuss with the committee on the nomination order to fix a date where you will come and give us a holistic view, holistic lecture of what this nomination order is. And most importantly, like you said, that everybody should go and read that order, because that is self-explanatory. Even at that, it is not enough. We still want to see you. We always like to be seeing you as one of us. So on behalf of Aba branch, we thank you, and we're also assuring you that we will reiterate at the appropriate time. We will do the needful. It's not out of place. We are minded of all the things you've been doing to Aba branch, and we know that we will keep on doing that. Our dinner is around the corner. We will come back. We'll come to you as usual, and you will do as usual. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Let me again thank you for putting this together. It shows that the branch is mindful of your responsibility to your members and to the society. I'm always available. Even on Saturday, 2 days ago, I passed through Aba from Eket, from Ikot to Nnewi. Your officers held me up at some point that we are violating your state sanitation day protocols. We were able to convince them that we are mere lawyers passing through. I don't know, ZJ. If not, I would have called you to come and talk to them. We were able to convince them. So Aba is our home. We can always come back anytime. When the dinner time comes, if I'm giving enough notice, barely rising, but or come and chop. Always in Ankara. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, gentlemen, you agree with me that this is 1 hour well spent. Thank you, Leonard Sixth, for acting and being with us this period. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank you, the House. Thank you.
Gentlemen, this is the end of this webinar. Thank you for being patient all through the period. We promise you that we will bring more of this in the coming future. Thank you, and remember, my name is Chikezie Obiefuli, the chairman of NBA Aba Symposium Committee. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, the committee. Thank you, the Leonard Sixth.
How do you
Okay.
Please try and fill the attendance form, please.
Where is the form, please?